Anthony was preaching about the crack pot, and each thing taken, you know, in their life that they, you know, just repenting and weeping over it and shedding tears. But, you know, I can't say, I just pray that they really mean what they, you know, repent from, confessing their sin and repenting of it, and really mean it in their heart, that the Lord knows the heart because he searches the heart as the mind. And just want to share that with y'all, you know, and this is what this is really about. As you see the signs up in front of the church, sharing your gift. And just what he preached on, just, you know, we all can do that because we all in the body of Christ as believers of Christ. So my encouragement, just, you know, whatever the Lord call you, don't hold back and just go and share your gift. And I know they got the Way of the Master coming up. And if you haven't took that class, please take it. Because it's been a very encouraging to me about 12 years, just going to about 5 prisons, sharing my gift, but the Lord called me, and people who really can makes a difference in their life. So just thank you for letting me share that. Thank you.
Are you a crackpot?
Yes!
Okay.
I'm the big crackpot.
Yes. We just want to know.
Yes, I am.
And if you can work through Michael,
yes,
you can work through me too.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we do, and that's what the whole year is all about.
Yes.
You know?
Mm. Thank you. All right.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, in Jesus' name, Lord, thank you so much for this new day of life, new day to get to know you better. Thank you so much that we get to hear in the book of Ruth today. And Lord, thank you so much for Cedrick preparing for the lesson, and give us all teachable spirits, Lord, what your word says, what it means, and then finally how we can apply it to our lives. We love you, and it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Well, welcome everybody. Just wanted to make sure you still know that, you know, if you are in need for counseling, everything except for karaoke will be available. That's torture that, you know, that's self-inflicted torture. That's a, you know, that's a, y'all know on that one. I just wanted to let you know. Well, last week we started on the book of Ruth, chapter 1. Let's take the light off. And I'll try not to be, you know, think I'm glass and give you some room to see this. But most people know about Ruth, but I wanted to go back over and kind of give you kind of a little quick synopsis of some of the things here. So I'm going to try to give you some information, but not be so long-winded with it. So for those who are about to go like, hell, here we go. The book is, the author of the book, per the Talmud, supposedly Samuel wrote the book. That's somewhere in circa 1140 BC. And one of the things that you take out of the book, and just a couple quick facts here, remember this is during the time of the Judges. If you're wondering what time of the Judges, I believe it's in Judges chapter 10. You will see verses 1 and 2. It's a really quick blurb, but this is where the time of Ruth is. So Judges chapter 10, I want to say it's verses 1 and 2. Paul's already going there, so I would say around that area around this time. And Jair is the guy who is the judge at this time. So actually it's 1 to 5, but in that aspect, this is where the story of Ruth occurs. Now, we already know that Ruth is the story of a Moabite woman who forsakes her pagan heritage in order to cling to the people of Israel and to the God of Israel. Let me ask you this. Does that sound weird? I'm throwing it out there. That this Moabitess or Moabite woman decides to follow Jehovah God. Is that weird?
That's what we did.
That's what, really?
If you weren't with Christ, before you accepted Christ, you were with the babies.
Oh. Oh, so there's a connection with today and now, so there's some, I wouldn't say application, but there's a connection. Okay. You got me.
Or atheist.
Okay.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Now, wholehearted obedience to the Lord would have okay. Wholehearted obedience to the Lord would have made the Israelites a moral and cultural leader among the nations, as they were called to do in Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. That's Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, and in Isaiah 63. So you have that. But the people frequently forsook their covenant, which was shown to us in Judges 2:2. If you want the email for the whole outline, Paul can send it out to you, everything else. I didn't have it put up here this time. Go ahead and put it up, and maybe I can read it better without me trying to do this up again. They preserved forbidden pagan religions, the Israelites did, and religious objects, and made loyalty agreements with the spiritually corrupt people they had been told to expel from the land. Anything wrong with that? I mean, just wondering. Anything wrong with that? Now, Israel preserved forbidden pagan religious objects and made loyalty agreements with the spiritually corrupt people that had been told to expel from the land. Don't get scared, folks at home. Okay, stop. Yeah, I'm Paul calls me a Bible nerd. There's a reason why. Number 3, because I go and find all this other stuff and chunking in here. So, anything wrong with keeping the pagan objects? Anything wrong? I mean, today we're asked to keep certain things, right? Agree with make certain agreements, not to be tolerant. I don't want to get in trouble in this one, folks. I see the hand raising. What do you have to say, sir?
Well, I was thinking that actually come back to speak about Gideon, not burning the objects instead of leaving you there, talking about.
The Gideon argument.
Yeah.
See, the other sister's not here to bring the point up that Gideon could have got beat up here. But he did it.
Yeah.
He did it at about 12 midnight when everybody was asleep. Most people were out of town. Things like, but he did it.
Yeah.
But
He was a cracked vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was leaking. Anyway, let's see. Well, the Israelites failed to teach their children about the Lord and his ways. As a result, a generation rose up who did not know the Lord or the works he had done for Israel. Example, Joshua 2:10. So, because of her faithfulness in a time of unfaithfulness, I didn't write that, but it sounded good. God rewards Ruth by giving her a new husband, Boaz, because remember chapter 1, here we go, there's a famine in the land, and usually with Israelites and some of us in times of need and everything else, and sometimes not for depending on God, we might go to different places like we should have. Examples, there was this guy named Abram, and God said, I will be with you, and then all this, I'll protect you, and then all of a sudden it takes a left turn, right would have been Albuquerque, he goes down to Egypt, he goes around Pharaoh. Sarah, who's very, very attractive, kind of like Ruth in this situation, gets taken as a wife by Pharaoh because that was custom at the time, ancient Near Eastern culture. And after God has to come in a dream to say, touch her or you die, Abraham has shoveled out there with all this stuff, and one of the things he grabs on the way out is this person called Hagar. So famine kind of got us in a worse spiritual famine, you could say. Then as we go on, we still keep seeing famine problems and people going, well, I'll just go over here. Now, this is what happened to basically with Naomi and her husband. They go into the Moabite land, which you're not supposed to go to, and they decide at this point, the boys are there. One's name, I think, is Weak. The other one is Sickly. So that's the name of the sons they have, Weak and Sickly. Yeah, or maybe even Feeble. So you're doing this, and you have this problem here, and
when they grow up.
You're not really sick, are you sick? Anyway. But here's the thing. They go in there, they find two Moabite women in there. One named, we want to call it Oprah, but Ophrah. Oprah. Well, we'll check out the show later. Anyway, and then another lady named Ruth. Now, I'm going to give this warning right here. I might have to go there today, so don't think of this as bathroom humor. I might have to go there today because it's such a matter who we're talking about. You have two Moabite women here, and they're now married to these Jewish men that they're not supposed to. And then in a span of, and I'm going kind of fast, but I'm going in a way that kind of encapsulates one, all of a sudden, Naomi's husband dies. And then later on, the two boys die. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. Somebody should have checked this woman's food. Check her cooking, check something. See, that only guys laugh. The women are like sitting here like, what? What you say? I'm just throwing it out there because this husband falls over, the kids are sickly, and now there's three people. I don't know. Okay, don't. I wish I had my bodyguard today because I'm going to get beat up at the end of this. But here we are. And the conversation becomes, Naomi goes, I am old right now. And there's no way that I'm going to give you sons in time because, this is a strong Jewish woman that's still in her faith to God. Let's remember that as we go through the story. She's saying, I can't do anything crazy. And I can't give you a child right now or a husband because it's going to take too long. She's past those years. So now it comes to a decision. And she says, you have a choice. You can stay here with me or stay with me because I'm going back to Bethlehem. I'm going back to the land. Or you can go and just do your own thing. You're free of the commitment. You don't have to stay here. So we have one thing. So we have both of these ladies, Oprah and Ruth. Oprah goes, or Ophrah. She looks at it. She sees what's going on in the situation. She kisses Naomi on the cheek. And she has the shack in her hand, the book. And then she decides to go the other way. Says, you know what? You are totally right. Hey, I love you, but I got to go. Ruth looks at her and does something weird. And I'm going to pull this out here. So if I go off mic for 5 seconds here, hold up for a second. Dare deal with me. She tells Naomi, and I'll pass it around because it's kind of like the crux of this. And I don't know, you don't know where this happens, but in Scripture, this is a defining moment. Because for some reason, as this was going on in this bad land, Naomi makes an impression on Ruth and says, wherever you go, I will go. And wherever you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people. Sounds good, huh? But there's more. And your God, my God.
So she's switching gods?
Your God, my God. Ruth 1:16. And I'll pass it around for those to look at it. And it's also up there because Paul is very quick. But, wow. Because this is a Moabitess. And to be fair, I thought I'd look up some information about the God she was serving. Let's see. Now, the God she was serving was a guy by the name of Chemos. Now, he sounded like a great guy as a god, but you sacrifice children to Chemos. As one of the things puts it, the music played as they put the child in front of the fire and put the child in the fire.
That's terrible.
Terrible. I thought we were trying to give them a fair chance here. But that's how you worship Chemos.
Wow.
So we're going seeing this, and we see the flip over. Yes.
Chris just said, and it's so true. It sounds like playing Parenthood. It's like they play the music and they destroy the baby at the same time. It's the same thing happening today.
Where's that happening today?
All of this stuff.
In what form?
Child sacrifice for the
Child
to the
sacrifice.
God of prosperity.
God of prosperity.
Or convenience.
Convenience. Maybe choice. Yeah, we'll get in trouble for this one, folks. Maybe a certain group that's kind of planned out there for this kind of emergency. Maybe not with fire, but maybe with some utensils. Yeah, I'm going there. But here's a Moabite woman that says to a older, mature Jewish woman, I'm following you, I'm sticking to you, I'm cleaving to you, I'm clinging to you. This is not just a, yeah, I'll follow you. This is talking about I'm not letting you go. This is almost the same way God described his covenant with Abraham. That kind of commitment. That kind of hope. Nothing's going to shake me off this. But this is a Moabite woman in the time of the judges where everybody thought they did things in their own eye. Right eye, right? Right? That's interesting. But we'll keep going here because, Ruth, maybe there's something to it, and I'm looking through some stuff and reading through here. Now, the Moabites were idolaters, and their god Chemos was worshipped by child sacrifice. And remember, these two Bethlehem boys married two Moabite girls. So one went that way, the other one took the right to Albuquerque, and now heading back to Bethlehem. Now, we're up in basically, so I think we did get to 19, but I want to read this a little bit quick here. So they too went until they came to Bethlehem. I'm in Ruth 1, chapter 1, 19 through 22 verses. Let's see, let me read it up here and just do it that way. So they both went until they came to Bethlehem. This is an older woman and a younger woman. And Naomi was going to walk 70 miles. 70 miles, like walking through the church here. Some days. It's like, gee, where's the bus coming on this one? And when they came to Bethlehem, all the city was stirred because of them. Because this is a Jewish woman walking with a Moabite woman. There are certain conceptions of what a Moabite woman is. But she's walking with this Jewish woman. Even though the Moabites are kind of neighbors, but this judging was going on here. And the women said, is this Naomi? She said to them, what? Do not call me Naomi. Call me Mar. For the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. Now, I got to lay the groundwork for this. Bitterness or feeling this way does not mean I give up on God. This just means that during this time, I'm going through some stuff. Naomi never left her God. Let's put that in our three supposition here. She never left God. But she didn't say, oh, it's everything's bright and rosy and popsicle sticks and candy and fluffy things. She said, I've gone through some stuff, and, you know, it's kind of like Job. Just sitting there like, man. But she hadn't turned her back on God. So I just wanted to put that out there. She said, I went out full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. How many of you have been empty? Some days I think I'm still leaking. That broken vessel? Yes.
I think she might have felt that what she's experiencing might be the consequence on something that she might have done, and now it's coming back to hurt her.
Oh, you mean that old school thinking? Remember, just to go New Testament. I know I don't want to scare you too quick because we're going New Testament. The disciples came upon a man with a withered hand and said, you know, was it sin in his family? Did he sin? What happened? Because that's usually the general thing. Something happened. Oh, you must have. And as I know from experience, don't tell me it doesn't go on today, because certain people run up to you and you must have. You sure? Or my favorite ones, you don't have enough faith. I guess this is what happened when you didn't have enough faith. So we have that. And she said, why do you call me Naomi? Since the Lord has witnessed against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me. Now, maybe remember this is the time of Judges. She might not have remembered certain parts of this. But she still had her faith in God. Sometimes when you come to faith in the Lord, all you know is, I believe. Before you get to the way of the master, before you get to the Sunday school, before you get to anything else, all you know is I believe. I trust in you. And that's okay. But grow in that as well. So, roll it up a little bit, Paul. So Naomi returned, and with her Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, who returned from the land of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of barley harvest. Pay attention to that part too. Now, remember, these two are walking in aware. This is not the Roman road. This is going to be a dangerous place of ladies walking through this thing. Plus, she's a Moabitess. Oh, it might give you some impressions on certain things here. I'm trying to say it, but not say it.
Say it. Why don't you say it?
Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, Lord. If we could go to chapter 2, and I can have somebody read verses 1 to 7, I'll greatly appreciate it.
Now Naomi had a kinsman of her husband, a man of great wealth, of the family of
Yes.
Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, please let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain after one in whose sight I may find favor. And she said to her, go, my daughter. So she departed and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come to the portion of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the family of Elimelech.
Yes.
And now behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said to the reapers, may the Lord be with you. And they said to him, may the Lord bless you. Then Boaz said to his servant who was in charge of the reapers, whose young woman is this? The servant in charge of the reapers replied, she is the young Moabite woman who returned with Naomi from the land of Moab. And she said, please let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. Thus she came and has remained from the morning until now. She has been sitting in the house for a little while.
Okay. Thank you, Bonnie. Especially with our pronunciation.
Elimelech.
Okay. Okay. All right, so now we're back there, and now Naomi had a kinsman of her husband, a mighty man of wealth of the family of Elimelech, yeah, and his name was Boaz. Now, you know how sometimes you get in those situations, and Ruth is just going to Naomi, you know, because Naomi's an older woman, she can't really work. And Ruth said, let me go to the fields. Because that was a way a lot of women that were in this situation or single, whatever, would go and get whatever was leftovers, really. Because usually it's the man that would handle that or have to take care of her. They had nobody. So she said, you know, go ahead. And she went out there in the field, and here comes Boaz. Here comes this guy, who, oh, by the way, is of the family of this guy. And Caesar. And basically, let me give you a quick thing of what this is. He comes up and he sees her, and I know I'm going to give you two ways of this. When you first read it, you come up there and you go, yeah, hey, who's that over there? Yeah, or who's that woman over there? I'm going to tell you, I think it's the latter, because they had ones in there that were just getting along and throwing themselves in with the others there. Some of the dangers a woman would face there would either be rape or being very loose. Ruth wasn't one of them. Because if you go down to verse 7, because we know that, you know, he says, oh, who's this and everything else. And the guy kind of said, she is the young Moabite woman who returned with Naomi from the land of Moab. Okay, we already got that. Here's the key part. And she said, please let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheep. There ain't nothing new. Okay, we got a ton of them out here. Thus she came and remained from morning until now. And she has been sitting in the house for a little while. What does that tell you? Oh, okay. Industrious. Oh, so she's staying after hours, right? She's not really getting overtime, but you know.
She's staying in the house for a little while. That means she's working a lot.
Ah!
Yeah.
She's working a lot, isn't she? She wasn't in there just trying to catch somebody's eye. You get what I'm saying? Ladies know what I'm talking about. You got some people come into certain places. You know, well, okay, you might have seen what some of this. Some go to certain places and they wait around to try to get the attention because they're looking for buy them a drink. They need a money ticket. I'm trying not to say it without saying it. And then there's other women. What's that?
Very patient.
Oh.
She was very
Patient because, you know, this is it. She's working all this time. This will wear you out. This is a lot of work here. This isn't anything glamorous. And then she wasn't allowing herself to be distracted by, hey, because she was very good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was coming, you know, there had to be guys, I'm guilty, come up there and say, you know, Shorty, what your name is? Yo, holler at me. Because certain ones were, but Ruth kept working. And she didn't just go like, oh, it's time for that break. Gonna tell them to sit over here. No.
She was gleaming.
She was working. Not hustling, but working. Yeah, I'm going there. So we hear this, and now we know there's something different about this Moabite woman. Because the perception would be, she's Moabite, she might not, there might be a different connotation for her versus a Israelite.
Right.
And some guys like that connotation. But Ruth seems to be coming up from the bottom of her situation in a different way than others that come out of that situation in a different way.
Right.
Let's see. Scroll up a little bit, Paul. Then Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen carefully, my daughter. Do not go to glean in another field. Furthermore, do not go from this one, but stay here with my maids."
Is that for safety?
Safety. I was about to ask, where was that telling you guys? But also,
Provision. You got provision.
provision.
Yeah.
Now, sisters, you know how it is sometimes when you come in a situation and you're being a shepherdess or a role model to a young lady in Christ, and they're in a different situation, you're protecting them. Mother hen is watching over, making sure, no, you don't want to.
Right.
You watch that one. You see what I'm saying here? Boaz has already gone and go, something about this one. I want to make sure she's okay. And this is nothing, there's no attraction yet. This is Boaz saying there's something different about her. She's a hard worker. She's not going to waste my time. So then he goes on, "Let your eyes be on the field which they reap, and go after them. Indeed, I have commanded the servants not to touch you. When you are thirsty, go to the water jars and drink from what the servants draw." Ooh. This don't usually happen, right? Some of us would call this favor, divine providence, provision. It said, "Go, let your eyes be on the field which they reap, and go after them." You gotta wait. Go, the minute they do it, you right behind them. This is quality food. This is good stuff. This isn't just, I got 10 hours later, everybody else in there, I'm looking around like, it's snowstorm in Atlanta, looking for food and bread and everything else. Like, where's something?
Well,
Yes.
she was picking up what the birds and the mice would get, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. For the mice, but actually she was getting, if it fell to the side, this was good stuff that fell to the side. So much so. Yes.
Some commentaries say that they unusually left a little bit behind for the
Yeah.
poor, and the poor
God said to do that.
It was like a Jewish law, too.
Yeah.
The leaves from behind.
So this is the Levitical law here in this part. Oh, gotcha. And next statement. "Indeed, I have commanded servants not to touch you."
That's right.
Because remember, she's a very good looking young woman
Out in the field.
out in the field. By herself. And then those late night parties and all this other stuff. Certain guys try to roll up, "Hey, how you doing?" You better not do that, man. Why? Because Boaz said, "Everybody touch her, you dead."
That's right.
I'll see you later, Sean.
That's right.
So now she's got protection. "When you are thirsty," wait a minute. "When you are thirsty, go to the water jars and drink from what the servants draw." Wait a minute. She's a Moabite woman. She's not a servant. But she's getting as good drinks as the servants are. Woo. Because she's a hard worker. Because I know she's not going to do anything. She's got her mind together. I haven't heard a word yet that I'm looking for. It starts with a P from some scripture that kind of describes her. Now I'm throwing it out there, but nobody's got it yet. But
This describes her, starts with a P.
yeah, from scripture that describes her, what kind of woman she is. Throwing it out there.
She's not gonna be it. She ain't gonna be that woman. You ain't gonna find that.
Well,
Does she get praise for her?
well, you know, yes, sir.
I think one of the things that earned her favor with Boaz was that unlike the one who received 1 talent of blessings, she did the best with what she had.
So that bottom situation, she comes from it. She shows up. She's just going through. She's not looking at all this and may not even understand all of this, because it seems like the only one that might understand this may be Naomi. So she's just doing her job and working hard, and everybody's starting to notice this because God's showing that spotlight on her. Said,
She was also a woman, water wife, she was out there doing her job, and she was a woman or something. And God knows the heart. It took a brave woman to go out there in the field, or foreign, or somewhere else, and everybody started noticing that because she was just like a Gentile, wrapped it in. But she was brave to go out there and serve and humble herself. She didn't know what was going to be her fate, but God's purpose was in her life.
Well, like Mike said too, you know, it was very customary, because it was the law, if somebody wanted to do that, that's what they could do. But he just made it safe for her.
But she was out working everybody else, especially the ladies. You think the other ladies didn't know her? I'm like, she must. You know how those things started. She started working, and I think she did this. I think she got in with a little something going on here. Because I know I can do better than her. I've been around here 5 years.
She's got favor.
That should have been also almost, maybe the story of the 5 talents to be rewritten, because instead of saying, oh, I knew that you gave me only 1 talent, she said, thank you, God, for this talent. I'm going to work with it for you. And, she did what she could do. It would have been easier to complain about it, probably.
She had the makings of a Proverbs 31 wife.
Ding! That's what it was. She said first, okay. Drag it out of here.
And she's not even a wife yet.
She's not. But she's getting, I'm sorry. I can't tell you. Then, okay. Then she fell on her face, bowed to the ground, and said to him, why have I found favor in your sight that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner? What you talking about? Well, what's going on here? Once again, we have this woman that's going like, why has this happened to me? Naomi's the only one that kind of sees what's going on here. But as we continue, Boaz replied to her, all that you have done for your mother-in-law after the death of your husband has been fully reported to me. Because remember, this is a Jewish woman walking with a Moabite woman in public and living together. This been the talking neighborhood. And how you left your father and your mother in the land of your birth and came to a people that you did not previously know. That's a big deal. Abraham did that. Come with me. God told him. May the Lord reward your work and your wages be full from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to seek refuge. Then she said, I have found favor in your sight, my Lord, for you have comforted me, and indeed have spoken kindly to your maidservant, though I am not like one of your maidservants. What that mean?
So what the other maidservants have to do certain things?
Well, the thing is, there's a difference about Ruth. Ruth didn't just show up at the job, leave when she wanted to. Ruth
Okay.
worked, and then worked more.
So when the other maid servants were in the house chilling, she was still out in the field.
She was still out there. The guy said she only came in here for a little bit, and she keep going.
It goes back to that virtuous woman.
Ah, she's always thinking, she's always working. She's trying to provide for her home because it's just her and the mother-in-law.
Wow.
The rest of them who are, let's say, Jewish descent, kind of just showed up, oh yeah, did their thing. And what about the other ones of other ones? They just came in there, did their thing, or kind of did their thing and just left. At mealtime, Boaz said to her, come here that you may eat of the bread and dip your piece of bread in the vinegar. So she sat beside the reapers, and he served her roasted grain, and she ate and was satisfied and had some left. Explain this to me. A Moabite woman walks with a Jewish woman. They walk 70 miles. They get back into town. Naomi's going, my life is totally screwed up. You know, it's over. Ruth decides to go out, gets to the shears, gets to the fields, works her butt off. Next thing you know, she's sitting with the boss at his private table, having a good meal, and able to take a doggy bags home. Ain't got good. When she rose to glean, Boaz commanded his servants, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not insult her. In other words, oh, come on here. You going to go with my boys? And boys, if you say one word, we're going to have a problem. Wow. Yes, sir.
I think Boaz was very aware of God's or the golden rule in business, which is blessings are multiplied when they are shared.
It is.
I purposely think he was attracted to her, but anyway.
You still think it was I mean, she was a very good-looking woman, but you don't see Boaz going, well, if you come over here in my incentive program, see, I'm trying to say something, but program.
But he had respect for her.
Oh.
And that's different than going after just any old floozy that's good looking. She was taking care of a relative of his, and she was working hard. So there was a respect there that he didn't have for other women.
Well, and he also, like you said, like we read, he knew her history.
Oh, so, yes, Don. Don had his hand up.
That one word, glean, G-L-E-A-N, she was evidently helping someone else because it appeared that she was well fed, she was taken care of. The other guys out there would want to leave her alone. So evidently it seemed like she was into something else for nourishment because he said, let her glean among these other people. The word glean means it's like if you have a field of corn, you know, you leave something for the poor.
Oh.
And she seemed like she might have been in something like that, which was a good thing.
Okay. Cool. Mike?
Like Paulie said, they probably knew the history, like you were saying, and that Elimelech didn't have any brothers, I don't think, because, and so he knew that Elimelech, who was, I guess, Naomi's husband, had died, and usually their law was somebody's got to pick up the slack. Somebody died, in the next brother or the next, it might be a son or daughter or brother in that order would come and take over. And he might have known there was no son, daughter, no sons, no daughters, or a brother of his that could step in to keep the line going. Maybe he knew that. It looks like, to me, it looks like he knew that line.
We're going to see in a sec about who knew what And we're going to talk about some sandals coming off somebody's feet. I'll give it a little bit spoiler. Also, you shall purposely pull out for her some grain from the bundles and leave it that she may glean, and do not rebuke her. Give her the stuff. You don't, if you say one word, I'm coming down there. Because you know this had to happen. Wait a minute. This Moabite woman got to do this stuff. Oh, Boaz said, go ahead, man. So she gleaned in the field until evening. Then she beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. She took it up and went into the city. And her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. She also took it out and gave Naomi what she had left after she was satisfied. Ooh.
She was bald.
Oh, she had stuff. Her mother-in-law then said to her, where did you glean today? And where did you work?
I know.
What did you do?
I know.
Because she's Moabite. I'm trying to say it without saying. The impression is you might do something different than an Israeli woman, but it's time of Judges, so I'm going there. Let's see. May he who took notice of you be blessed. So she told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked and said, the name of the man with whom I work today is Boaz. Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, may he be blessed of the Lord, who has not withdrawn his kindness to the living and to the dead. Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. This is bitter. But she doesn't hate God. She's down by her situation, but she's not saying, I'm cutting the communication off from God. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is when you in this hole. And I've talked to people 2 weeks ago. They wanted to cut it off. They were in a place, kind of like Ruth, had no help, nothing else, had no job, wanted to cut the strings. They said, I'm not even talking to God, I'm not even doing it. This was a person before that was always helping out, always talking about God. Then it got shut down. I will say that by the end we talked, and by the end of the night, she was able to get through. But a lot of people, sometimes when these things happen, and depending on your teaching, right, you may believe everything is prosperity, but they forget there's persecution, temptation, and tribulation by joining God. Yes?
I think another reason was they said her name meant pleasant, or Naomi in Greek, or Hebrew, maybe it was Hebrew. It was said that her name was pleasant and lovely, and she did not want to be known at the time as being pleasant and lovely, but she still had a job to do with the Lord. But she didn't want everybody to think that everything was great with her, but she's going to stick with him and take care of her family with what's left of it.
Right. I think, thank you, Mike. I think you're seeing a person that's saying, yeah, I'm going through it. Even though he slayed me, even though, these things go on, I still trust in the Lord. Remember David? Yeah, he told you how bad it was, but then he said, but yet I will trust in the Lord. And that's what we have going on here. Then Ruth the Moabite said, furthermore, he said to me, you should stay close to my service until they have finished all the harvest. And Naomi's wheels are starting to think here. She's thinking here. Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, it is good, my daughter, that you go out with his maids, so that others do not fall upon you in another field. Fall upon you, take advantage of you, do things they should not do, disperse your name. She had some, I think we would call it integrity. And plus, these maids made sure that she was safe. So she stayed close by the maids of Boaz in order to glean until the end of the barley harvest and the wheat harvest, and she lived with her mother-in-law. I'm surprised nobody did the mother-in-law joke, but that's fine. Now, here's the thing, folks. We're up to chapter 3. Remember, Naomi's wheels are turning. She sees what God is doing. Ruth is kind of clueless because she's a Moabite woman. I'm stressing this to show you that even in Naomi's fall, feeling down and depressed, guess what? She could see God working. If I can have somebody read for me chapter 3, verses 1 through 5, I'll greatly appreciate it.
Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, shall I not seek security for you, that it may be well with you? Now, is not Boaz our kinsman, with whose maids you were? Behold, he winnows barley at the threshing floor tonight. Wash yourself therefore, and anoint yourself, and put on your best clothes, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. It shall be when he lies down that you shall notice the place where he lies, and you should go and uncover his feet and lay down. Then he will tell you that you should live."
Verse 5.
Okay, verse 5. She said to her, "All that you say I will do." So she went down to the threshing floor and did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. But, told you, Naomi is starting to see what's going on here and says, I got an idea. Now, ladies, reading this is going to sound like she just let go of her body.
We used to call that weaving a web.
Weaving a web. Describe this web.
But they're kind of like enticing him, just.
She's that was custom. That was to say that she was available. If I remember right, but I could be wrong.
I'm not touching this.
You're not. Yes.
In doing that, was it an honorable way to do it, or was it?
It was considered honorable, if I remember. Yeah,
Really?
It was considered honorable to do that.
Okay.
Instead of,
Getting on the field.
just doing stuff. I'll just say that.
But essentially, she crawled into the covers with him, right? Isn't that what she's supposed to be doing?
Well, not exactly. The covers were uncovered, the feet were there, she's at the bottom. So at this point, there's nothing going on. Let me roll up to 6 here. So she went down to the threshing floor and did according to all that her mother-in-law had commanded her. When Boaz had eaten and drunk, his heart was merry. He went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain, and she came secretly and covered his feet and lay down. It happened in the middle of the night that the man was startled and bent forward, and behold, a woman was lying at his feet. Okay, I'm going to say this in good trouble. Lucky guy. He said, "Who are you?" Because he's half out of it, folks. He's eaten, he drank, he's done everything else. And she answered, "I am Ruth, your maid. So spread your covering over your maid, so you are a close relative." Then he said, "May you be blessed of the Lord, my daughter. You have shown your last kindness to me to be better than the first, by not only going after young men, whether poor or rich. Now, my daughter, do not fear. I will do for you whatever you ask. For all my people in the city know that you are a woman of what?" In other words, she wasn't chasing down people. She didn't see the first guy drive by with the big car, the nice house, and decide, I'm going to go this way. Wait a minute, there's a bigger house. Let me go that way. Let me go this way. Let me go that way. And he could tell. Because trust me, she looked good. Well, that was the description of her then. That's one of the things. And ladies, you know how it is when you don't want them. You just say a certain word or something, lock that door, keep going. Now, it is true I am a close relative. However, there is a relative closer than I. Remain this night, and when morning comes, if he will what?
Redeem you.
Good. Let him redeem you. But if he does not wish to redeem you, then I will redeem you as the Lord lives. Lie down until morning. You catch that Ruth is being redeemed? And it all started with Naomi trying to redeem her. Because remember, folks, they have this land, but they have no rights. Women had no rights back then. She's about to lose, they could lose the land, they could do all this other stuff. And the custom was they needed a kinsman redeemer to redeem that person, or to redeem that family or that line. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint here. When you find out who was Boaz's kinfolk, you'll understand maybe why he acted the way he did with Ruth. I'm just going to put it out there. But I think somebody might know who Boaz is related to. And it kind of makes kind of sense, his treatment of Ruth. And I know you do, so no. Not yet. But you see, he's got to go through somebody else because somebody else in the family has to come in and take over this role that her husband was going to take over, was supposed to be doing, because he was too weak or sick, and he's dead, and now we're in this situation. So she lay at his feet until morning, and rose before one could recognize another. And he said, "Let it be known that the woman came to the threshing floor."
Let it not be known.
Oh, let it not be known. Thank you. I was thinking, but here's the thing. Again, he said, "Give me the cloak that is on you and hold it." So she held it, and he measured 6 measures of barley and laid it on her. Then she went into the city. Boaz could have easily just said, "Hey, she here? I love this delivery service. Let me do what I do." But no, he goes through custom, Levitical law. He goes and finds the person that's going to be the person to redeem her. And he said, if he don't do it, I'll do it. Is that weird? Wes, is that weird? I mean, it's not weird. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if one of the, Naomi had 2 sons. If one of the sons would have lived, then that son would have redeemed. But both of them died. So then you go to the next
one over.
It would be closest of kin. But you're right. He did the right thing because he knew that the lineage coming down that he had to go to that person first because legally they came first, or the closer relative. Since there was no brother. So he did perfect, and he already knew this. He had to, and that's why he treated Naomi so kindly, I think, because he told her when they were sitting on the floor about this situation, and I know what I've got to do. So that may be why he was so nice.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, sir.
I think there is a great underlying truth here in the fact that he did not what he wanted to, or what he might have felt like, but exactly what he knew that he's supposed to do.
Ooh.
Which showed he was a man of integrity.
Yeah. So it wasn't about, she good looking. Yeah. Bonnie said, he was obviously she hot, But it was more about this is the right thing to do.
He didn't look over the guy that was supposed to be next in line. He made sure he did him the right.
So he thought with his head, and as far as I go. Okay. Yes. Or, as far as I'm going with it. Trying to be good today. When she came to her mother-in-law, she said, wait a minute, let me stop this here. A mother-in-law with good advice and nobody's fighting and nobody arguing and nobody hating each other? Is that a rarity in this day and age? Huh? Oh.
Me too.
Ooh. Okay. Well. How did it go, my daughter? And she told her all that the man had done for her. She said, these 6 measures of measures of barley he gave to me. For he said, do not go to your mother-in-law empty-handed. If you're getting good with that mother-in-law, you get in there good. You get good with the whole family. I'll just do a worldly thing, but he was respectful, right? He thought about her situation, didn't want her to go home empty-handed, was looking out for her and redeeming her before he actually redeemed her. Doesn't God do that for us? Even at times we're like, how did this happen? Then she said, wait, my daughter, until you know how the matter turns out, for the man will not rest until he has settled it today. Sounds like Naomi's heard about Boaz's reputation. He's going to get this done. Some way, somehow, this is going to get done. Chapter 4. We're moving through this, but I'm bringing it in for a landing. I'm coming. It's flying. It landed, but I got to do it. Let's see. I'm going to go through this, just read through this, but we're going to go through it. Now Boaz went up to the gate and sat down there, because that's where everybody met, at the opening gate there. And behold, the close relative who Boaz spoke was passing by. So he said, turn aside, friends, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. One day, he just got to call me a taxi one day. He took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit down here. So they sat down. Witnesses. This is custom, folks. Then he said to the closest relative, Naomi, who has come back from the land of Moab, has to sell the piece of land which belonged to our brother, yes. So I thought to inform you, saying, buy it before those who are sitting here, and before the elders of my people, If you will redeem it. But if not, tell me that I may know, for there is no one but you to redeem it, and I am after you. He's like, I'm next in line. If you don't do this, I'll handle this. So the guy thinks about it, half second here, says, I'll get the land. I get more land. Kind of like Lex Luthor and Superman there. I get more Australia here. And he said, I will redeem it. Problem solved, right? Then Boaz said, on the day you buy the field from the land of Naomi, from the hand of Naomi, you must also acquire Ruth the Moabitess, the widow of the deceased, in order to raise up the name of the deceased on his inheritance. Sounds like a good deal, right? Get this gorgeous lady and some land? That's a great deal.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat that with a stick. The closest relative said, I cannot redeem it for myself. What? I cannot redeem it for myself. Reasoning. Because I would jeopardize. Because I would stroll out of control here. Because I would jeopardize my own inheritance. Because it's about me. I'd love to do this, but I want to jeopardize what I have. And you wouldn't want me to jeopardize what I have, right? Right, Paul? Pardon?
Now, really, isn't this kind of like, though, wasn't Boaz kind of being a little misleading by saying, oh, yeah, by the way, you got to have that Moabitess, too?
Well, that's part of the thing, but that was part of country because that's part of the law that's there. That's part of the law that's there, but I understand what you're saying.
He made it less. Yeah, he made it less appealing by saying that, didn't he?
No,
two women for the price of one?
Well, you got the land, you get those two ladies, but you got Ruth as well, you get to marry her. You think winner, chicken dinner.
I thought with her being a Moabitess that
I
they
think
didn't
Mike
like
has-
those.
But I think Mike has something here.
I think that he loved the fact of getting Ruth. The only thing was, he has to change lines, because once he steps in the shoes of being that particular family, then his inheritance, he won't be in the line from his family. His family's inheritance will miss him because he's in a new line. And he steps into the inheritance tree at that point of the new family.
So he moves into another lineage?
Yeah.
But also, there's one little stickler here. Moabitess. Now, if you Paul, am I wrong here? But usually, the Jews were told to stay inside their own kind. And this Moabitess coming in here. If he's a good Jewish boy, I love to help you out.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's what she's talking about.
I just want to bring something in
Yes.
here because I was reading. Please.
The cousin is the same, he's some kin to Boaz too, right? So it's still a Moabite woman, so why would that change it?
And she's been involved with Jews for a long time, or Israelites for a long time. I mean, because Ruth married.
Well, he's looking at the one to line. Also, this is a Moabite woman. This is not exactly your good Jewish woman. So to them, it would look like, it's kind of like the Samaritans, where the Samaritans, the Jews in the New Testament would not even walk through the land. They would walk around the land.
They wouldn't even walk in the shadow of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they are very particular when they come to this thing at certain points. Yes.
So what I was trying to say is that I read somewhere about the Talmud and Elimelech, representing Elimelech not necessarily as being a poor family going out of Bethlehem, which is the house of bread, to Moab, but rather because he didn't want beggars to come at his door to bother him during the famine.
Ah.
So practically because of that, he went somewhere else, and he went to Moab, which, interestingly enough, refused bread to the Israelites coming
Yes.
to them in the earliest times, and then he lost everything there.
Yeah. So it's a different little thing here.
Well, I think, verse number 6 says that the closest relative said, I cannot redeem it for myself because I would jeopardize my own inheritance because she was a Moabite.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing
In other
is,
words, it wouldn't fly with his.
yeah,
And the Jewish law said to have nothing to do with Moabites even until the 10th generation.
right. So right now he's got. I know what you're saying. She's there.
But it was okay for Boaz, but not okay for other cousins.
Well,
Help me understand.
Okay. No matter,
Exactly.
what was said, he went through the right things,
Right.
and his heart was good.
Right.
I mean, we know it from a perspective that through the, King David's great-grandmother, Ruth,
Right.
would come the Messiah.
Right.
So this was, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
This
go
was
ahead.
this was all God's plan.
Yeah, but let's put it like this. When Christ
That's
got
the point where I'm trying to get to all the gospels.
right, and the thing is, didn't Christ do the same thing for us?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, he just showed up and said, I'll do it. It's, you show up and you gotta be on the cross.
And on top of everything, he knew Ruth's outlook on, to Naomi. He knew, you could tell he knew everything, and she said, may your God be my God.
Right.
So now, it's not a question of just being Moabitess and, just going with a Gentile or a pagan or whatever. It's she, according to God, she became Jewish.
Yeah.
She became.
Yeah. So, let's see.
A believer.
Yeah, believer. Yeah. Let's see. Redeem it for yourself. You may have my right of redemption, for I cannot redeem it. Now, this was the custom in former times in Israel concerning the redemption and exchange of land to confirm any manner. And man removed his sandal and gave it to another. And I'm not doing that here. And this was the manner of attestation in Israel. So the closest relative said to Boaz, buy it for yourself. And he removed his sandal. Then Boaz said to the elders and all the people, you are witnesses today that I have bought from the hand of Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech and all that belonged to Chilion and Mahlon. Moreover, I have acquired Ruth the Moabitess, the widow of Mahlon, to be my wife in order to raise up the name of the deceased on his inheritance, so that the name of the deceased will not be cut off from his brothers or from the court of his birthplace. You are witnesses today. Now all the people who were in the court and the elders said, we are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, both of whom built the house of Israel, and may you achieve wealth in Ephrath. Yes, and become famous in Bethlehem. Moreover, may your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah. That's a little, we'll get into that one. That's some stuff been going on in that one too. Through the offspring which the Lord would give you by this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth and she became his wife, and he went into her, and we don't have to get a description of what that means. And the Lord enabled her to conceive, bingo, and she gave birth to a son. Then the woman said to Naomi, the women said to Naomi, gaze into this part, blessed is the Lord who has not left you without a redeemer today. And may his name become famous in Israel. May he also be to you a restorer of life and a sustainer of your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him. Of course, Paul has this little thing that says, then Naomi took the child and laid him in her lap and became his nurse. The neighbor women gave him a name, saying, a son has been born to Naomi. So they called him Obed. He is the father of the father of
David. David, great.
And the women named him. Usually it's the guy that does the naming. Now these are the generations of Perez. To Perez was born Hezron, and to Hezron was born Ram, and to Ram Amminadab, and to Amminadab was born Nahshon, and to Nahshon Shalom, and Salom. Salmon, thank you. Salmon, and to Salmon was born Boaz, and to Boaz Obed, and to Obed was born Jesse, and to Jesse David. Paul, let's show them the big surprise.
Uh-oh.
The mother of Boaz is. This is not more called this, so everybody call me.
Wait, let me go to my presentation.
You guys have the presentation.
What did I do with this?
I don't know what he did.
I just go to the,
Because Miss Judy over there kind of knows who this person is. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got Noah, we got Shem, we got Ham, we got Japheth, we got Terah, Abram, Nahor, Haran, Lot, right? Remember him? Abraham, Rebecca, Isaac, Lot. Now, just for our story today, Lot, Genesis 11:27, first daughter, Moab, because something happened and drinks, and they had to pass on the line, so they passed on the line. Second daughter, Ammonites, drops down to Ruth, Mahlon's widow, Ruth 4:13, Matthew 1:5. Okay. All right. Abraham, Rebecca, Isaac. Remember that story? They had to get together. She looked cool. But she was a hard what? Worker. Down to Jacob, Esau. You remember those guys? Then Judah. Then Salmon. Then Rahab. Do we remember who Rahab is?
Yeah.
She was a Gentile, but she was something else, right?
She was the lady on the wall.
She was a lady.
Lady
Well,
on the wall.
yes.
Yeah, she laid him on the rough.
Well, she was all over the place. Let's just say, but she did something important.
She saved Jacob and who else?
So she saved and rescued the spies, right?
Right.
Now,
She lied, but it was a good lie.
discretionary.
Discretionary lie.
And she saved her family.
Yeah, but then Boaz. Now let me ask you something. With all the stuff that Rahab went through, probably doing up in Jericho, if you don't think that Boaz never heard the stories or never talked to his mom, you don't think his mom, when they got into this, said, now you need to do this to be right with God, because she saw this firsthand. She heard the stories beforehand, then she saw this firsthand. You think that affected Boaz's upbringing? Teach a child on the way they should go, and he should never depart from it, maybe? Boaz, Ruth. We still get here. Then know that. Ruth 4:17, Matthew 1:5-6. We get to Jesse. You know Jesse. He was an Ephraimite from Bethlehem, they used to call him. Jesse gets to David, King David, who gets with, who was the wife of Uriah.
Yeah.
Who somehow this day came together, but we'll get to it later. 2 Samuel 11:1-12:15. Who later, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Matthew 1:6-16.
And in
We have a.
what you just read, let me go back over here. You talked about Ephrata. And then it was also, let me just go over here, Micah 5.
Ah.
Micah 5:2. It says this, but as for you, Bethlehem, Ephrata, of course that's where they were, too little to be among the clans of Judah. It was a very tiny town. If you go there, it's still a tiny town. From you will go forth for me to be ruler in Israel, and its going forth had been from long ago, from the days of eternity. He always existed. So out of Bethlehem, not any part of Bethlehem, but Ephrata, out of the clans of Judah, was going to come Messiah.
Ah.
He always existed.
3 quick facts and we'll close it up. About a mile east of Bethlehem is a field called Field of Boaz, where tradition says Ruth gleaned. Adjoining is Shepherd's Field. Why is this important? Where tradition says that angels announced the birth of Jesus. According to these traditions, the scene of Ruth's romance with Boaz, which led to the formation of the family that was to produce Christ, was chosen of God 11,000 years later as the place for the heavenly announcement of Christ's arrival. 11,000 years, Christ was himself was born. Take a look at that. Now, some people and critics might say, that's just a once, there's no way. God says, yes, there is a way. The thing is, he became our Redeemer. And he paid a price for it. Is there somewhere in your life that you're waiting for God to redeem you? Yes.
So it's kind of connection too as well.
Yeah.
Because he took someone, Leah, she was the one that
Noah, after the great flood, were all relatives.
More relatives.
And then, I mean, the Jewish people happened at Abraham, but when Ruth married into the family, she was a convert, and she knew about the customs, and she knew about this, and she obviously, what she said, took on the role of somebody who's from a Jewish lineage. So it's all, we're all in this together.
Real quick, and then I'll wrap.
Because during this week, looking at the spiritual application of the Ruth, of the book of Ruth, I just put a few ideas, if I am allowed 30 seconds to share with you.
You got 30
I really
seconds.
believe that the book of Ruth is the most triumphant story of love, in spite of all the adversities encountered, which I really like to call the Cinderella story of the Bible. But then I wrote this kind of ideas. When you think that everything seems to come to an end, keep in mind, it's not over. When you walk by faith, nothing is lost unless you choose to believe.
Yeah.
When you thank God for what you have, He always will give you reasons to be thankful for more.
Yeah.
Never forget Solomon's words of wisdom. Greater is the end of the matter than its beginning. Sometimes in order to receive God's blessing, you just have to agree to move from where you are to where God wants you to be. When you really know where you are going to, it doesn't really matter that much what you are going through. And the last one, when what you see seems frightening, keep in mind two things. Number one, it is only temporary, and it is only because of what you cannot see yet.
Okay,
That's real
that's
good.
good for 30
Very
seconds.
insightful.
Obed, just in case you're wondering, means servant.
What means that?
Obed means servant. But here's the thing. Remember Naomi at the beginning of the book? Man, God has dealt bitterly with me. I just can't. But it's her idea to allow Ruth to go back there. Ruth follows along, and through this, Naomi is helping to guide. Yes.
I like the ending, in our book, the last thing little outline they give on the back when they said, living with integrity leads to find God, to find favor and God in others. And believers can face trials and challenges with confidence, knowing that God can use these for His honor and His glory. And then God is always at work making His redemption plan known.
True. With that,
One more thing. Next week we start Matthew, okay? And it's at Matthew, we're like 14 through 28, 16 through 28. Anyway, and I'll start that, but does anybody not have a book? Raise your hand. A book for Matthew. You got it? Everybody got it?
we got
They're
two
over
over
there.
there, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
We'll go back to
and we'll-
Ruth again.
Miss Judy will be passing them out, so just go, yeah, those little ones. And so just go see Judy before you leave. Okay.
Yeah. As we're doing that, we're going to close in prayer. Thank you all for your input in this. And just think about it like this. God came to redeem us all. Now the thing is, do you want to be redeemed? Because He's already paid the price for it.
He is our kinsman redeemer.
Ah, somebody got it.
There you go.
There we go. I was waiting. It's like, yeah. Sometimes I have to let you guys. I can't say here, but okay. But let's close with a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your word. We thank you for being our kinsman redeemer, because there are days that we just don't feel that you're there, or just days we just don't feel worthy. Lord, stick with us during those days. Stick with us during those tough times. Remind us to trust you and bring all things to you. Naomi, even in her deepest, darkest depression, still followed you. She never said that it was all nice and puppy dog tails, but she clung to you, just like Ruth clung to her. And through that line, the Messiah was born. remind us of this throughout the week. Let us be a redeemer for those we meet and give them the truth of the gospel. We ask all these things in the power and authority of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
I want to do.
Thank you.